Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good day, wherever you are. Thank you for joining us today. Today is another day whereby we will come together and talk about the Nigeria that we want. Today's topic is a topic that I think you would like to take part in. And if you want to come into the studio and join us, join the panelists to discuss this important topic. How about you type in your comment and we will get you in as soon as possible. But before I get my panelists onto the stage, I will first of all like to appreciate our sponsors like we always do. Because of all the sponsors, we are able to bring this show to you every single week since the beginning. So we can't just get onto the show without acknowledging them. So check them out as I start with Capstone Medical Center Bensdale. They've been our regular sponsors. So that's a group of medical doctors doing wonders to the community where they are situated by providing medical services to the members of their community and doing it seamlessly without complaint. And the beauty of their job is that they do this bulk build. Okay, so just check them out. So that's about Capstone Medical Center, Center Base, still 515-271-35. Give them a call. One of their doctors will be able to see you, even on the phone. Now, the next business that we would like to appreciate and show you their infomercial is called Eminent Design, based in Aylesbury in United Kingdom. They are devoted to using African fabric, like what I'm wearing today. I will actually show you. Beautiful, beautiful dress. Ankara, this fabric is called Ankara. They use fabrics like this to make different styles. Whether you're going out for a night or you just want to, catch up with friends. That's the kind of things that they specialize in, and they make beautiful clothes, beautiful dresses. Not just that alone. They make journal covers, they make bags, they make shoes, they make all sorts using African fabrics. Check them out. Eminent Design. That's Eminent Design in Isbury, United Kingdom. How about you send us an email and we will get them to connect with you. Anything you purchase over £5, you will get £5 discount. So imagine just £5, anything in £5, we will pay the £5 on your behalf. So go shopping on us. All right. So before I get the panelists onto the show, the Global Achievers Conference, TGA Conference, is happening on Thursday. No, sorry, on the 21st. That's on Friday, Australian Eastern Standard Time. So for most people in North America, that is on the 20th. So on the 21st of May, this coming Friday, we will be having TGA conference, which is all about, identifying different opportunities. How do you identify and maximize different business opportunities during this period, COVID period? So it's about identifying and then maximizing what you can identify there, and also business growth and entrepreneurship. That's what the conference is all about. So if you're in a business or you're thinking about it, this conference is for you. And it's going to be live for those right now in Melbourne. And for those who want to connect with us and join us, we also make it possible for you to join us virtually, so you can be part of it. So there are virtual speakers, there are live speakers, and for those in Melbourne, we've covered everything for you. It's just going to be good. It's going to be great. So check some of our speakers out. So the conference, TGA Conference 2021, is happening at Monash Hall, Arewa Hotel, Dandenong in Melbourne. So send us an email, vickyshow@gmail.com. We'll be able to send you all the login details and Eventbrite login for you to be able to register to participate. Now to tonight's show. Welcome, Mr. Yemi Shodimu, Egbon Yemi. Can you hear me? Egbon Yemi is gone. Now, Elvis. Igbo Kwenu, my brother.
Hey, Igbo Kwenu.
Kwenu. How you doing?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm really good. Really good, really good. This time last week we were boogie dancing.
Oh, tell me about it. Tell me about it.
Have you recovered yet?
Oh well, I'm all pumped up, recovered, and getting ready for the next one.
For the next one, maybe we are doing another one before the end of this year on a cruise, right? Why not?
Yeah, we will. We will.
I like your style, Jerry, my brother. Let's do it, okay?
Yeah, sure. Of course. Life goes on.
Thank you for having us, and thank you for putting together a great event. It was really good. Egboyemi miss, let's bring him in and let's do shakara for him a little bit. Egboyemi.
I hope you can hear me. It's a battle with network on the expressway. I just said I should show my face. Whatever the case is, I should show my face.
Thank you. When you get to
guys.
When you get to your base, we will do shakira for you.
God help me.
Yeah.
God help me. Where is Wale here?
He's coming. He's coming. I'm just bringing you one by one. Mr. Wale, welcome.
Do you people still are you people still suffering from hangover?
Yes, I want another one. I want another one. That was what
Loading
I was
again.
saying.
Loading again.
Abby,
Where is my ticket to? Where's my air ticket to?
don't worry, we'll get that one organized. Elvis is organizing another one. We're doing that one on a cruise.
No,
It's specialized one, so you can join us. Just bring
oh my
along.
God. The closest to a cruiser is the BRT bus.
It's gonna be good. But we had a lovely time. What do you think, Wale? Wasn't that so good?
Yeah, it was so beautiful on Saturday night. That was my first time, so let me put it there. That was my first
That
time
was
of
my third. That was my third time. I mean, I enjoyed myself. Did you see
yeah,
my husband?
it was my first time,
Can
and it was a
somebody listen?
special.
Can somebody listen to Wale? Even the voice shows he had a lot of fun. Listen to the tone of the voice. Wow.
Yeah.
No, it was really good. It was good. Elvis like Elvis. He likes that kind of thing.
I know, and I noticed that my dog is even a jay like me too, because I noticed every time the music changed, I'll hear boy bumpy. Oh my God.
It was good.
It was really good, and I think we give credit to Elvis for being able to bring our people together. So what I saw that night was a man that's cut across tribes and religion and bridges and was able to bring us together. And there was a moment for me when Adeorioke was being played. And I thought I was, you can easily forget that it was an Igbo Association event.
Exactly. Come and see everybody.
When Adeorioke,
I picked that number especially for you guys. Selected that.
So when Adeorioke was loud, and I could just turn around and I thought, wow, this is what we're talking about, that the Nigeria where people come together,
Totally.
Yes, that was really good.
It was good. And Elvis, as soon as the professional pictures is released, please, I need them for the magazine.
Okay.
I'm going to put it in the magazine. I'm going to cover the whole event in the magazine. I always love couples, anything couples event, which I used to do myself. I used to organize that kind of event in my past life. But since you've taken over now, I don't need to do it anymore. Just keep doing it. You're doing a good job. So anything that is to do with couples, I tend to encourage it, because any couple that can spend time away from everything and just, put on their dancing shoes and be with each other. I just forget, about financial problems, about whatever problems, and just focus on each other. It's a way to grow together. So I would love to cover that in the magazine, the Global Achievers magazine. The May issue is a special issue, so I would like to cover it alongside everything else that we're going to be sharing in the magazine. And if your members want to have copies, then they should let me know. We'll get some copies printed and they can purchase it from a Nigerian printer that I've got here.
Okay. All right. We'll talk that through and then see how we go with that. Yeah. I'm sure we'll love to have copies, read them through, and then also keep them as souvenirs. Yeah.
As souvenirs, and it can be on their coffee table because they're beautiful, beautiful magazines.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yemi, we missed you. I missed the show, but I enjoyed. So I was caught in between the two. I'm like, I missed it, but I also had fun. So, but it was great. So at least it's good that we're back, and we're talking about a topic that is so dear to our hearts. I mean, it's something that we've been kind of, each person, I believe, we've been debating it within us, the way our country is going. Where is this leading to? Are we going to stay together? Are we going to go? What is really happening? We will go deep and deep into all that this evening. But before we do, like we always do, we are going to go through updates for us to share what you've heard, what's been going on, and we'll just go around and discuss that before I pass the baton on to Wale Olaito. So for my own update, a sad event that happened, Pastor Adeboye lost a son. That was a very sad one. A 42, 42-year-old man who went to sleep and didn't wake up. Some believed he was killed. Some believed so many things, and you know, people always come up with all sorts when something like that do happen. It's quite a sad one. Losing a child isn't anything any of us pray for. I've lost a parent, and not a parent, two parents actually, and I knew how painful it was for me. So now I can't imagine losing a child, an adult child who had 3 kids. So it was a sad event. But what also kind of made me feel a little bit was when I saw an interview, you know, a guy was making with, was interviewing Sunday Igboho about Adeboye. The person was asking, what would you say to Pastor Adeboye? And he just was just like, who's Adeboye? This and this, and he just rabbled on and on. And the next thing he started cursing everyone that didn't support Yoruba, you know, being Yoruba state or Yoruba country, or they will all lose their children, they will lose this, they will lose that. And that made me think, you know, as a leader, if people are looking up to you for whatever, is that a kind of statement that should be coming out of somebody's mouth, especially when we're talking about a loss of a child. A leader should be able to put some emotions aside and, you know, show compassion. I mean, that's how I say it. Show compassion. It's not easy losing a child, for someone to just, you know, disregard and the next thing start cursing and cursing and cursing, and you call yourself a leader. That's my thought, and that's the only update that I would like to just share tonight. So Elvis, we'll pass it on to you.
All right, yeah, Vicky, thank you, and you know, welcome everyone. Everyone, good to see you. Wale, yeah, nice to catch up again, and good evening to our viewers. Now, you took the words right out of my mouth. The big one for me, you know, is the event we had last weekend. I'm just going to touch on that. This is, you know, something outside typically what we'll normally discuss on the show. But for me, I just want to express the fact that that event we had on the last weekend, the couples night, which we've had 3 times in a row now, was a huge success. After that event, well, I'm not sure if you received one, or Vicky, I've sent out text messages eliciting, you know, responses from people and wanting to know how they felt about the event, and also what they liked about it and what we can do to improve it for the future. Across board, you know, I got you know, really good feedback, and if anything, you know, those who attended think it's actually growing really big now. Vicky, remember when we started?
Yes.
That week we had close to 200 people, and you know, the fact that as Wale mentioned, we had, you know, people from diverse backgrounds. You know, your Yoruba, your Edos, your Igbos were there. It was a really huge thing for me and my team. Looked around, really elated at the fact that, yeah, we can actually, come together and do great stuff and be happy and put away our differences and focus on the things that actually can bond us together. So, overall, really happy. We had a good night. And I think it's worth reporting here. And if you missed out last year, this last one, there's an opportunity around the corner. We'll have one and we'll put it out there, hoping to have better things ahead. So that's really key for me. And I thought I should share the fact that, yeah, we had a good night. It was a success, huge one.
Yeah. It was. Well done, Elvis.
And my team.
Yes. Well done, Elvis and Elvis's team.
Yeah, sorry, before you go, one more. Sorry, I know I said, but I take my words back. And another one I like to share, again, outside the box, is that, I've got my Nigerian You Won Cup and I'm launching it tonight. Mm-hmm.
And this is mine.
Egbon, where is yours now? Oh, I don't like what you people are doing to Egbon. Eh?
You have to DHL. We have to DHL to Egbon.
Well, Egbon's own is special one.
Somebody should Google the word oppression.
Egbon, this is you. You are here. Look at you now.
You're there.
Look at you.
Don't worry.
No, honestly, I'm organizing Egbon's own because posting from here is crazy. There's no point. So we're actually making your own specially. So you're not just going to get the mug. You are going to get bigger, more things than the mug, okay? So
my fingers are crossed, my lips are dry.
Don't worry, it's all good. You will get yours shortly.
No problem.
Thank you, Elvis.
Just salivate a little bit and you'll be good.
So, Egbon, what's the update?
I'll make this brief. Vicky actually took this off me, or rather, let me take it up from where Vicky stopped. It's a very sad development, the loss of a son by Pastor Adeboye, and anyone for that matter. A man at that ripe age losing an adult child. Even when you lose an infant, you know the impact. But the point I'm getting to is what Vicky ended with. And that is having somebody to mock an old man that just lost his child. Ironically, this was an issue I dealt with on my radio program yesterday, and I felt very, very, very deeply about it. Particularly as Yoruba. And that was trashing Omoluabi, the Omoluabi factor. It was a very sad thing. And I just felt in a bid to, even if we say, let's go our separate ways, I'm a bit bothered that this kind of thing is what we will settle for after leaving that geographical entity, if we do at all. This sort of thing where you have people, people with iron hands, people with assumed powers, lording it over all others. I felt very bad about that development, and I believe I've read comments and comments of people reacting to this, and I'm yet to see one that says that was well said or that was well done. I hope the right message will get to the right quarters. I said it yesterday again that, listen, in our bid for self-determination and all that, we cannot discard the wisdom of elders. We cannot dig one big pit and throw all of them in there and cover them up with sand. The Yorubas will say, and I'm sure this will sink. But for the benefit of those who do not speak, listen, no matter how endowed you are in terms of riches and all that. There is the depth of wisdom of elders that you cannot just gain overnight. It takes time. And so we need the wisdom of these elders. How many of us have gone through the level of betrayals, the level of political harassment, the level of exposure these people have had? We don't have to agree with all they are doing. I don't agree with a lot of things they are doing. But I will not trash them. Who we have issues with will mock us. If that is this the direction these people are going? That is one thing. That's one. The second one, of course, being the 17 southern state governors meeting in Asaba. Yes, of course, they came up with some resolutions, including banning open grazing, calling for restructuring, and of course, showing concern about the state of security of the nation. Personally, I think it's a welcome development. At the same time, I would expect the governors to lead by example. In other words, start such implementations within their states. Seriously, let us see the level of autonomy they are granting, or they've granted local governments. Let us see the separation of powers between the executive, judiciary, and the legislature. We need things like this. Let us start from somewhere so that we know we are serious. The world will take us seriously. And I mean, the next local government election is a test case for them. I like the resolutions, but they should show us in this local government elections that we are to have a free and fair election. Let us at least pretend to be honest for a change. That's my take. And of course, just before I forget, a bit of celebration on my part too, with that recognition given to me by the Vice Chancellor of
I was just about to say that. I wrote this here. Congratulations, Egbon.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Egbon.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Making us proud.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad to be part of the family.
Thank you. And how's your program going? The
Barada?
Yes.
Barada. Vicky, say that. Let me hear it.
Barada.
That's more like it. It's going on fine. I've started recording, really. I've started recording, and I'll be recording this coming week again.
Oh, fantastic. Don't forget also. Don't forget also.
No, I won't. I won't. Certainly won't.
That's good. So, Wale, your turn, and then you can take it off from there.
Yeah, look, looking at the time, and I think I had two important points that you already raised on Egmoyemi. I had the 17 Southern Governors Forum and their resolutions. I also had the Sunday Igboho that the distasteful comment he made and his lack of maturity and lack of exposure to even come back when even everyone knew that it was in poor taste for him to come back and apologize. Rather, he went on this spin of trying to, even something that was a recorded video, and he was even telling people to go and watch that video again, that it wasn't really directly addressing Pastor. I felt that, look, as a people, we can do better. And if that's where you want to start a struggle and you want people to be on your side, you're going to take a long way. The Yoruba has an adage that says, so, which in a way, Yoruba as a people, we believe in diverse opinions. That is what it's all about. That that the elders, they have their wisdom. And the young ones, they have their wisdom as well. And the central message is there that we might not agree all the time. We might not agree. But it doesn't mean there's a disunity or anything. It means that as the people, we are open to robust discussions on anything. It's as simple as that. And if people are not agreeing with your, Yoruba nation, I don't think the best way to go about it is to, to start cursing them and start. I don't think you win anyone. Personally, you even lose many people and say, what kind of animal? What kind of animal is this? Anyway, so we move on to our topic tonight. We'll be discussing, is Nigeria's unity non-negotiable? Secessionists and irredentists in southwest and southeast Nigeria are becoming more forceful in their agitations for Oduduwa Nation and Biafra Republic. And despite having many common indicators of a fragile state under the Fragile State Index, which was formerly known as failed state index, the core supporters of one Nigeria, especially elitist groups in northern part of Nigeria, are also relentless in their campaigns for Nigeria to remain as one indivisible entity. So the big question is Nigeria's unity non-negotiable? So I'll go straight, to the, to my questions, and I'll put my first question to Emmanuel Yawe. Look around you and see the level of incompetence in President Buhari's government. Why is the government repeating the same old tune that Nigeria's unity is non-negotiable? Emmanuel Yawe.
Lack of ideas. Lack of ideas. Arrogance to listen to superior opinion. Pretense on the part of officials. I mean, the truth is, all that is needed in terms of ideas to will this country together, to march forward as one, are available. We're still talking about the wisdom of elders. There are people in this country who have ideas on what to do. But at every point in time, they're either ignored, harassed, or they are hounded, or they are tagged as not being supportive of government. Over and over on this program, we have talked about, and I have stressed this, the body language of leadership. How come we didn't have this level of agitation in the Obasanjo years? How come? The fact remains that the body language of leadership is appalling. Outside that, you cannot find peace in the midst of injustice. There is so much injustice going on. There is so much lack of balance in terms of sharing of national responsibilities. When that is happening, people who are deprived will kick. They will keep kicking. And when they kick, and you tag them as what is this, their favorite tag? You tag them as terrorists because they are kicking against injustice. It makes them worse. When you drive sound opinion into the grooves, they regroup, they reorient, they come out harsher and horrible. That is where we have found ourselves. It's been one tale after the other of people being of innocent blood, and yet you're still saying it is indivisible. Listen, that tag of go on with one Nigeria, whatever, in the civil war thing does not apply now when you are not doing what is right. Nobody is, I'm not too sure people are willing to just commit suicide for no reason. So the government has to do a rethink. The government has to come down. Top officials of this government have to come down from their high houses and stop pretending as if they know it all. They should stop pretending as if they know it all, and then they should, when the man at the very top, well, there's so much lies going on around now, so much. There's a grand deceit. That's the way I see it going on, because you hardly can know the truth. You hardly can know the truth. And I've said this over and over again. A lie ceases to be a lie for as long as concerned. I agree that the truth must not be spoken. So, your question in short, a lot lies with this government. A lot lies with the leadership. And I am not one that think the unity of this country, don't use the word is not negotiable. Don't use it. What we should do is to conscientiously work for that unity. That's my bit.
Okay, thank you very much, Egbon. We've got Mr. Charles Oguntade from Shepperton here in Victoria. He said, I read a statement credited to Garba Shehu. He asked, who is going to pay Nigeria's debt if we break up? Okay, we can talk about that. Thank you for that, Mr. Oguntade. So Garba Shehu, the presidential spokesman, was asking about who is going to pay debt. I think just like in every marriage,
his family estate can settle it now.
If a marriage breaks down, I'm sure the liabilities and and the assets they share. The couple share that as they go their separate ways. Anyway, maybe we can touch on that later.
You don't do that in Nigeria.
No, Wale, please don't run away from that. It is one of the most pedestrian things that will come from that place, and there are a lot of pedestrian statements coming from that end. Who is going to pay what? Let his family estate settle it.
Exactly. Who are those benefiting from it?
What's his problem? What does that mean?
Who are those people benefiting from the loan? Are they using the loan to build roads? Are they using the loan to build power? They are the one benefiting. They are borrowing money to pay all those high salary or whatever they get. That one is level salary.
Some of these things.
So,
okay. So I move to the next question. That next question goes to Vicky. On 10th May 2021, that was I think on Monday, Sahara Reporters reported that Arewa Consultative Forum, the spokesperson, Mr. Emmanuel Yawe, said the North can never support secessionists because the North fought the war to keep Nigeria together. Specifically, it was reported that Mr. Yawe said, there is no way any part of Nigeria will secede without a civil war. We are so integrated that it is impossible for us to sit at a conference table and allow each part to go their ways. It is not possible. It is not a tea party. There will be war. If any part of Nigeria wants to secede, there will be war. Maybe even more serious war than what we had between 1967 and 1970. So if anyone is calling for secession, is calling for war. That was a very powerful statement from Arewa Consultative Forum's spokesperson. So my question is call for any part of Nigeria to secede? Is that a call for war in real sense of it, in terms of the current situation? What is your take, Vicky?
Number one, Arewa spokesperson can say whatever he wants. That's the way he sees it. And I'm of the opinion that they already have something planned, because they know whatever they've been doing is going to make the West to wake up to say enough is enough. So we know that there is a big plan of them, you know, taking it as you don't want to be part of us anymore. Now you can't just go scot-free. It happened before, you know, when the Igbo said we want to go on our way. What did they do? They turned it into a big war. So there is a precedence, you know. It's not like it's new, and they know that this is going to happen. They know this, which is the reason why they are sending their guys, you know, to go into our forest and get us surrounded. I'm of the strong opinion that they already, and I was reading something this evening, and I might quickly go upstairs to grab Stephen's phone and actually read certain things that some of their people put together. They are already calling for war. They tried, you know, what they did with the Igbos years ago. They tried it only a couple of months ago or less, when they said they are not going to sell anything to us, knowing that we depended so much on the food coming from the north. So these people, they have something planned. It's us Yoruba that we're still not together. We are not thinking straight. So
yes, okay, sorry.
The question that
is a call for cessation. Is that a call for war?
A call for cessation to him is a call for war because it had happened before. So to him, because it happened before, the moment we start saying this is what we want to do, to him it's like, and because they are the ones that speaks for these people. So it's about just telling their people what they want them to do. That Yoruba said they want to move, Igbo said they want to move. We can't just let them move, because if they move, where are we going to be selling all this food to? Who are we going to be selling the cows to? Who are we going? So we are the people that they just come and dump stuff for. So it is in their gene or in their mind that as soon as we say we are going, they don't want to go. They don't want us to go. So they won't let us go, you know, like, okay, just go, like Pharaoh did, until
he said it's not going to be like a you know, like a tea party on a conference table.
We should know that it's not going to be, because it happened before. There's a history there for us to learn from, which means by the time we start screaming, we want to cease, we don't want to be part of you guys anymore, we need to have our plans in place. We need to have our guns. We need to have whatever we need to make sure we are ready, because these people are already ready. They already have their plans. It's us that we are still dragging. Some don't want to go to war. Some don't want to, because my mother did for us, my wife did for us, my these things there for us. And I'm sure people watching that are in Nigeria, they may be saying, you are in over there, you are calling, you are saying whatever. But it is something we have to do, because if we don't do it now, they will surround us and just do whatever they can do with us. So we have to do what we have to do. Yes, it's a call for war. Call it whatever. We can interpret it in any way we want or they want. But at the end of the day, if we want to live, we need to do it the right way. Which means, if it turns to war, then are we ready? Are we ready?
That's a very big question, Vicky. I monitored a live program during the week. There was a live program on by Chief Dele Momodu, where he spoke with the leader of one of these major group now, Professor Banji Akintoye, who is a pioneer, campaigner for Oduduwa Nation. And there was a particular question around, okay, everything they've done so far revolves around, peaceful dialogue and everything. And that was a specific question Chief Mamadou asked, about what do you really want to do? What plans do you really have? based on the history that we've had in Nigeria between 1967 and 1970, what other plans do you really have to go in our separate ways if Nigeria won't allow us to go? And I thought that was very, very, interesting conversation around Plan B, as you said, other than just a dialogue. So moving on, I go to Elvis. The question centers around, Boko Haram. Boko Haram recently openly distributed rice, beans, millets, maize, sugar, and cash gifts to some residents in Borno and Yobe states as Ramadan palliatives. Um, they are emulating political leaders on how to lure new members and supporters. This further strengthens the argument that Boko Haram is winning the war. How can anyone continue to argue in favor of one Nigeria when we see, a terrorist group with all so bold and openly distributing what they call Ramadan palliatives in some part of Nigeria, unchallenged by any military person? How can any person in their right sense continue to argue that the unity of this country is non-negotiable when you see a major event like that's currently going on?
Wale, yes, thank you for the question. First of all, I'd just like to make a few comments to the effect that, I'm glad that we're able to have this sort of conversations comfortably. I recall a few weeks ago, I know Vicky shared something with us to say, someone sent her a comment to say, you guys need to be careful what you discuss and all of that, calling for the breakup of the country. And I know we've never had that sort of conversation here, but obviously that was the interpretation that individual gave to our comments. However, we're at the point now where we're actually discussing those same issues that we were warned not to discuss on this forum. It just goes to tell me that you can't sweep the truth under the carpet. The truth, my father, when he was alive, who had a very one saying that I learned from him, which at the time was he would usually say the truth is as straight as a polar star. When you tell a lie, you need another 100 lies to make it straight. Yet someone with a discerning mind can still tell that this is a lie. So we're at that point now where these discussions need to be had. This is a burning issue in Nigeria. No one can pretend that things are not abnormal back home. Another comment I'd like to just touch quickly is in relation to the question you posed to Vicky. Now, when someone says to you, a call for secession is a call for war, I think that's actually been very unreasonable, and that goes also to show you what these people think, how they, what their perception is over the state of affairs in our home country, Nigeria. Some people believe, they call the shots. The rulership of the country is their birthright. They tell you what to do and what not to do. Now, calling for secession or sitting down to have a conversation to say, do we want to be part of this union? Is self-determination is a right enshrined in the United Nations Charter. Is the right of either a people or a race to decide whether they still want to keep being part of a particular setting. We've seen it happen in Scotland not too long ago, where they voted to decide whether they still wanted to be part of the UK or otherwise, and the people voted overwhelmingly to say we still want to be part of the UK. Catalan in Spain is going through the same. They're trying to secede, and so far I haven't seen an outright war break out in Spain. In is it Falklands?
Falkland,
voted in 2018 to still remain part of a British territory. So people have the right to decide, whether they want to be part of a union or otherwise. It's not a call for war. When you're tired, you're tired. And if you say you want to move on, have the conversation on what terms are we going to bring this up. That's the sort of conversation I need to be hearing. Or even to sit down and have a conversation on how we can fix the ills of the society. What's making people actually unhappy in this setting? What can we do to fix the problem? And, return to status quo, even if not, returning to status quo as it was at the time, something that we can have in place to make people feel they are part of the country and that, everyone is protected, everyone is subject to the same law, and not the case where one person is superior to the other. If you commit an offense, you can get locked up. The other person commits the same offense, they get a slap on the wrist and ask them to move on. I mean, I was watching a video a few days ago. I think it was the governor of either Rivers or Cross River State, where he said 70, is it 70? I've forgotten the number. A very large number of individuals, militants in fake military uniforms were arrested with AK-47s. And what happened? This was on TV, Wale. I'm not making it up. I watched the video. The governor was, said, that the commissioner of police gave an instruction. Was it the commissioner to say, release everyone, hand them back their AK-47s, and that was it. So what's really happening? Is this something? Is there something we don't know? Is there something that we don't know? Anyway, to answer the question you posed to me, Boko Haram handing out, did you call it palliatives or what?
Ramadan palliatives.
Ramadan gave openly.
Ramadan palliatives.
My grandfather would say, use your tongue to count your teeth. They have, it just tells you they have taken position. I mean, these are guys who are hoisting their flags in some areas in that Borno state. They are taking territories. Now, for them to feel comfortable to the extent of now handing out Ramadan palliatives or Ramadan gifts, whatever you call it. My brother, there's fire on the mountain. That's just all I can say. And for anybody to say, I'll just say, sit down somewhere and say, the unity of Nigeria is non-negotiable. You can either take things that you can't shove it down people's throat, for crying out loud. You can't. You push a man to the wall, he can't keep moving. He can't open that wall and keep moving. He's got to just, fight back and say, look, if it is Igbo brothers will tell you, oh, that plate you're using to feed me, enough. Break that plate. If it's this food you're giving me, don't give me this food again. And that's the mindset. That's how people feel right now. You can't lump it on the people and say, no, you can't speak out. The unity of Nigeria is not negotiable. And with Boko Haram taking over territories and the militants, or what do you call them, the headsmen, planting themselves in different parts of our forest, taking positions and, surrounding us. I know I was watching one video, I think it was earlier today as well, where I've forgotten the particular individual made comments. And he was referring to Abacha, where Abacha mentioned in a situation where you have insurgency and the government is not able to nip it in the bud within 3 days or so, it means the government's hands are involved in whatever is going on. Could that be the scenario we have here? I mean, this thing has gone on for too long, and and I haven't heard that anybody has been convicted of this crime. If anything, here, some people were arrested and they've gone scot-free, or they are converted and they're now they've been given amnesty. They can join the army now or whatever. Well, it's it makes my heart bleed, to be honest. Sometimes when I think about the problems of Nigeria, honestly, I'm telling you honestly now, I'm speaking, the way I feel like shedding tears sometimes, honestly. So for anybody to sit somewhere and say, oh, no, it's not negotiable, I think I think they should just wake up and smell the coffee. You know, we're no longer, it's not business. People, those who ordinarily didn't know what was going on, those who would die for one Nigeria, actually, making comments and, saying the ills or saying that things are not quite right. Is this government actually being honest? Are they being honest about prosecuting this war against the insurgents? And look, I'm going to say here, Wale, you don't prescribe an IPOB. You prescribe, you refer to Nnamdi Kanu as a terrorist. This is a guy, well, before now, who, his crime is the words he has said. He hasn't actually picked up arms against anybody. You declare him terrorist, but you have people who are carrying AK-47s, roving and moving around, and
killing people.
And killing people, and nothing happens. The one who is raving and ranting, the one who is raving, you say he's a terrorist. The one who has guns is the one you are protecting. Anyway, it's I think we just come to that point where, as I usually say, I'm not advocating for war, but we need to have a serious conversation and tell ourselves the truth. My father-in-law, when he was alive, would say, look, Elvis, when two brothers go in the bedroom, and I know it's a popular Yoruba adage, you go in the room and you talk and you come out and then you start smiling, you haven't told yourself the truth. We need to have that conversation, serious conversation, where each of us come out frowning, but we would have told ourselves the truth and we look for a way to fix the problem. I still believe there's an opportunity to fix this problem. I believe a dialogue will do it. I believe we need to just sit down and have that conversation and get things moving. Otherwise, you're going to have people from all nooks and crannies. Everyone is tired, saying, look, we want to go. And there's an extent to which you can hold them. That's my answer.
Thank you very much, Elvis.
Wale, sorry, if you permit me to do a short
Okay, Egbo, all yours, Egbo. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. I'm riding on what Elvis has said. It's really a reflection of who we are. Frankly, when you hear such pronouncements, it's a reflection of who we are. Because truly, when you have a situation where people say no together, there are various interpretations you put to it. Take it back to even student unionism, right? Take it back to student unionism. A way of expressing a disgust to maybe the administration or whatever, and student administration relationship and all that, is to destroy infrastructures, right? When we come to our elections, going for just a mere process of picking our leaders, we would rather do it with guns and cudgels and all that. Take it to level of convincing people to adopt religious faiths and all that. The alternative offered to them is you will go to hell if you do not accept. That is the same mentality our leaders are taking. That somebody who is, after putting everything together in terms of his experiences or the people's experiences, is calling for self-actualization. Automatically to them, it means you are breaking up, or it means you're asking for war. I will be the last person to ask for war. I've not seen anybody on this panel since we started advocating for war, because you can only determine the beginning of a war.
Yes.
You don't know how it will end. You don't know what lives it will claim. You don't know how many people that are close to you, including yourself, that will still be standing at the end of it. But what we are asking for is a very simple thing. Listen, equal rights and justice. Bob Marley sang this song a long time ago. The man has passed on now. And we are still not learning. Equal rights and justice. Peace will naturally come into it. Listen, we are stronger and better as a 200 million strong people. than when we now come in 10 million and 20 millions and 15. We are. But what is the essence of being part of that 200 million when you cannot breathe? That is my question.
Very, 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 deep, Egbon. And Elvis said earlier, he mentioned a few points that I wrote down here. He spoke about perception in terms of some of these people and their pronouncements, the mindset, because sometimes you just struggle to really believe that. Did they actually say that in terms of things that you read or people say on live interviews? It goes a long way in terms of their mindset. It speaks volume. And also, more importantly, Elvis mentioned that sense of entitlement. And you see that it come across when leaders from certain part of Nigeria, when they speak, you see that sense of entitlement, that sense of ownership of the geographical location called Nigeria, and the way they carry themselves, the arrogance, the way they talk about it. You just begin to think, is there something that we don't know that you people know about this, the structure called geographical expression, called Nigeria? And Egbon has repeatedly on this program, I said something about the body language of government. Egbon, as and the body language, we've had issues in Nigeria, from the time I can remember. There's always one issue going on across the ethnic groups and everything, but we've never had it so bad. I can't recall we've ever had it so bad in terms of even the body language and the pronouncement coming from the presidency. Yet I can't remember, before 4, 5, 6 years ago, Mieti Allah. I don't know whether there's any group or anyone even give them any serious consideration. We have this group now getting millions of naira from governments, assisting them. What do they do with that kind of money? They buy more AK-47 and roam about, the country. That is what they do with it. And you have a government that, even when the auction started, alluding to what Elvis said earlier about if there's any insurgency going on for maybe 3 days or whatever, credited to a statement, credited to late General Basha. He was a military general, so he knew what he was talking about. And we thought, we've got another military general as the president. He should be able to know what to do to tackle the problem. But the body language is lackadaisical approach. Is just obvious ignorance in so many areas. You can't just believe that we force this thing on ourselves. But this thing, we saw it coming. There was a live interview in 2019, prior to the election. There was a live interview. It was conducted by this lady, Kadisa, whatever is her name. And you could see that this man is got outset of dementia. He couldn't really answer basic questions.
Was it the one that the vice was answering for him?
The vice was answering. To me, that was the turning point. And I'm not trying to we're all going to get old and become senile and whatever at a certain stage in our lives, if God give us the long life to get to that stage. But I saw politics, whatever aside, I saw the man who was running for the second time as the president. They were asking him very basic, simple, direct question on a live interview. He couldn't really answer. And we had the vice president stepping in to answer those questions. We had government ministers. I remember Rotimi Amechi, who was there. He was shaking his head. He was so embarrassed. No, that video is there. The same person, how on earth that same person, reemerge as the president is still something I still struggle to comprehend.
And sorry, Wale, going on that, I now watched something, or I listened to something during the week. The person was trying to analyze, with Babadeboye's underpass, and then there was a fire that happened at one of the RCCG's churches in somewhere in Lagos, and that person was trying to analyze certain things. People started making certain comments about what was happening with RCCG, that the son died, and now one of the churches has just burnt down. That people, when that person kind of narrated or analyzed the whole thing, she was trying to say that people are blaming Adeboye and the vice president because it was him being part of Buhari that got Buhari nominated. You know what I mean? Because so many people and believed that what's his name, the vice president, was going to do the right thing by Nigerians, being a pastor, being a professor, being a man that we believe to be, you know, a normal man, that he will go there and do the right thing. So it was because of his ticket being part of Buhari that made so many Christians, especially RCCG members, to vote for AC. What is it? What is the
APC?
I can't even remember anymore. APC. So it was because of him. Now people are so disillusioned. They are not. People are not happy. Things they're even worse than when it started now, and maybe that's why people are saying things that they've been saying, because of those two each things that happened within a span of a week, less than a week, few days.
Let me react to that. Let me react.
Egbo. Please respond, Egbo. Please.
Yes. Vicky, I only call that conspiracy theory, frankly, because do you know the number of redeemed churches in existence? I'm not too sure Adeboye can tell you a number just like that in terms of how numerous they are scattered all over the place. So if there was a fire incident, fire can happen anywhere. Fire can happen. If we are to count the number of markets that have been burnt, or police stations that got burnt or whatever, it really won't hold water. There's a series called "You Asked for It." I'm sure you must have stumbled on it one time or the other. The summary is we asked for it. And I'm also aware of the fact that the three of you are far away in Australia. I am here. And I probably will not have to say more than that. You guys are safer out there.
Okay. Well, we won't put you in trouble.
Yeah, but seriously, we need a rethink. We need a rethink in a lot of spheres. We need a new approach to what we are doing. If you keep doing the same thing the same way over the years and you expect a different result, I'm not sure you'll get there. I'm not sure you'll get there. We can do a lot better. We don't want war in this country. We can't afford it.
We can't.
A second civil war in a nation, you know what that means?
That's the end of Nigeria.
We don't want it. I personally do not want it. But we can do a lot better. You cannot beat a child and say that child must not cry.
But my fear is these guys are more prepared. What are we doing?
What are we doing? Yes.
We are talking. I was just before we came on, I was reading something which I couldn't finish before I had to start this. And it was one pastor. I didn't know the name very well. I haven't heard the name before. One of the Nigerian pastors who said, "We've prayed enough. We have been praying for Nigeria since he was young. Now I think he's over 60 or so. That we have prayed enough. We have fasted enough. Even got to a stage that that when the Israelites, when they pray, they ask God for a way out, that the God has to ask them, you need to get up and you need to go around Jericho 7 times. They had to act. You can't just sit down there, God help, God help, God help, and we are doing nothing. So even those people, they had to do that. And they said, move around the whole place 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, what, only God knows how many kilometers that would have been for them. But they had to do that. And they said, wait, on the 7th, after the 7th time, you now need to shout hallelujah. The way you shout is that hallelujah will bring the whole world down. And that was what happened. But what are we doing? These guys, they have a plan. And my instinct is screaming it out to me that, hey, there is a fire on the mountain. Oh, guys, prepare, be prepared. But what are we doing? Yes, we may be out here, but we can see things. We can see things. We can deduce as those things that are coming up that this thing, there's more to this than what they are telling us. They don't even need to open their mouth and tell us that, well, you know what, we are going to round you all up and just, do whatever. They are showing us. They will come in the form of, we are just racing our cattle. But what are you racing with AK-47? Not 1, not 2. Come on. It's something that we can see. But what are we doing ourselves? What are we doing? We are going to, don't let me go there. Sorry, Wale.
Thank you very much, Vicky. Look, it's a very complex, situation that we find ourselves. And I know that, as we continue to talk our own and share some few ideas, a friend of mine who has been following this program, told me just, during the week, he said, I've been following your program, that you guys are still talking about Nigeria we want, that Nigeria has crossed the Rubicon. Nigeria is gone. You're still talking about the Nigeria you want. That Nigeria is gone. That's, people are talking about their different, nationalities breaking. That is more realistic than talking about Nigeria we want. I said, no, we still want to talk about it. Anyway, I'll move to Egbon, and the next question is around the Lagos Police Command recently warned residents that IPOB is planning to attack soft targets in Lagos State. An innuendo many Nigerians have described as manipulative ploy to pitch Yorubas against Igbos. Should Lagosians be concerned about potential IPOB attacks, or should they dismiss the governments as playing to the gallery? Should Lagosians be worried that Mercy Nnamdi Kanu's men are going to attack, our targets in Lagos? Okay.
Egbon's gone.
Okay, I think I've lost the Egbon there. While I'm waiting for Egbon, any member of panel, can talk about that. Elvis, you've got any idea? So, as I said in the question,
Wale, I heard the question. Yeah, ever heard of this is how I feel about this? Yeah, have you ever heard about divide and rule? Are you familiar with that concept?
Absolutely, yeah.
Is it possible that that's the scenario that is playing out here? I recall I mentioned something here on the program, which in my mind triggered those comments Vicky received, where I said, look, the time has come for Southerners, rather than, like fighting ourselves and, having this beef here and there, to actually come together as one, not for anything, but just show you are one as well. I mean, there's unity in strength. So perhaps if the aggressor sees that, you're speaking in one voice, one tone, could that be a sort of deterrence? Could it deter someone whose intention is to come and foment trouble and cause mayhem in your terrain. Honestly, Wale, I see it as a ploy to knock heads. I see it as a ploy to jam the heads of the Igbos in that space and the Yorubas. Okay. My perception is, the IPOP guys with what they have launched as a security outfit in the southeast, the ESN, is to protect their homeland. Think about it this way, Wally. Why would an Igbo man who has invested all his life in Lagos,
yeah,
all his businesses, he has bought swamps and sandfield them and turned them into multi-million naira assets, risk going against the properties or the assets or the security outfits of their host state? I don't think that's possible, Wally. I don't think that's. I think it's the case of somebody just trying to foment trouble somewhere to say, "Oh, I think these guys, they actually, because Mazen Nnamdi, when he started, will cause, like from the depth of his heart, that's how he felt at the time. Will abuse but recently I've heard him talk, and I know we're at the point where even when he refers to the Yorubas now, he goes, "My Yoruba brothers." That's where we are now. So if he felt any angst or his, at the outset, I think they've come to realize, you actually need, you need friends, you need allies rather than enemies. So I don't for any moment believe that those comments credited to whoever
Lagos Police Command,
yeah, but I read it. I saw it the other day, but I just think it's I think it's an act of mischief, if you ask me. This is my perception. This is how I feel about it. I don't think the Igbo man, knowing what he knows, will be stupid enough to go, and start destroying things or confronting his host communities to do what? Remember, before you, if they're going to foment trouble before they leave, they'll have to first of all cross Ogun State, cross Ondo States, get through Edo before they now get to Delta, where they're getting closer home. So in my mind, I don't believe it. I don't think it's true. I think it's an effort to make the Yorubas and the Igbos lock horns. Perhaps that's what I think. Yeah.
And I believe it's time for us all to be watchful, because they are full of mischief. Divide and rule. They know Igbos are not going to do that, so they might pay off some thugs to do it, and use them to
exactly.
That it's Igbo. So we all need to be watchful. That is just the main thing. Yorubas need to watch Igbos back. Igbo need to watch Yorubas back, because at this time we are fighting the same enemy here. It's the same enemy.
It's a thing, Vicky. But it's in these discussions, it's very easy to lose the side that the people we are talking about, the elitist groups, the group that they think they own Nigeria and they have this sense, that sense of entitlement. It's very easy to forget that in the northern part of Nigeria, there are millions of their people there, that are doing it really, really, that are very, very poor. When I talk about poor, I mean abject poverty. That probably something you won't even see in any part of, in southern Nigeria. So these are also they are victims of that system. So it's very easy when we have this conversation sometimes to really see the North as a kind of a block where they agree on everything, so where everyone is happy with the same thing. But we shouldn't lose sight that there are millions of their own people. I don't know who's speaking for them. I don't know what they feel about the current situation and how they want to really get out of Nigeria if it's possible.
Unfortunately, the cultural beliefs down there which is the main. It's more like and it's all all over Nigeria, but in that side of the country, it's the belief that the richest own them, which is why they will go and line up at the gate of the rich people for few pennies every morning. It's the culture. It is acceptable that only few controls the whole town. I'm not sure if you've been to that side of the country.
I did. I
Yes,
did my
Kaduna,
NYC up north.
Kano, and all that. So it is the cultural belief and the way, the mindset. So whereby even the children and the grandchildren serve the same rich people. So for them, it is okay because in our side, even the son of a dry cleaner, the son of granite seller, was still pushed to go to university to become someone in life, and would not want to live the way mom and dad lived. So, but over there, it's more acceptable. So now, if we're talking about so many of them in abject poverty, it's the mindset, it's the lack of education, and that is one of the reasons why they are kicking against education, because they believe it's education that is opening the eyes of people in the east and the south for them to know what is right for them and want to fight for it. So that's why they are so against. That's Boko Haram. That's what Boko Haram is all about. Boko Haram, which is against education, book knowledge. That's the meaning of Boko Haram. So they are against education. And the people that you're talking about, Wale, they are people that their brain has been, their mind has been.
Yeah, the system has, the elites have brainwashed them. The elites, they've taken the advantage of their situation, and they've used culture and religion, to the same elites, the political elites, they send their kids to the best of universities in Harvard, Stanford, everywhere.
Yeah.
They go there. But it's this same people, they've created a system, and I think there is a lot of intersection between culture and religion. I get that. But these same people as well, they can see that there are Muslims. They are in Saudi Arabia. They can see how they live there. They can see Muslims in the Emirates. They can see how the people live comfortably, despite following the same religious belief and everything. That the religion doesn't turn you to slaves. That the religion doesn't turn you to become to live in abject poverty and be cleaned up. I think to a large degree, there has been that intersection between religion and culture, and I guess the political elites they've taken the advantage. While we're waiting for Egbon to join us, I'll move to Vicky now, and it just there is a comment from Robert Brooker. He said, "What makes a few very wealthy?" Yes, I 100% agree with that. So there are merchants of war everywhere that they sell ammunitions, and that's where they make their millions of dollars, or in some cases make their billions of dollars. So we want to try and look at the other side of this debate. Many of our people clamoring for Oduduwa nation, Biafra nation, and what have you. When they talk about it, they believe in it, and they actually sell it as if they have every right to push for it. But what is often lacking is that I'm not aware of any kind of referendum or even plebiscites where maybe privately conducted plebiscite or referendum, whereby they put that question to, let's say, in Yoruba land, where they've conducted and asked people, do you really want to go your separate ways from Nigeria? I stand to be educated. I'm not aware that that has taken place in people clamoring to break away from Nigeria now in South. I'm not aware that something similar has happened in Southeast. Is it not logical to ask these people as well? Why not put these important questions to the people? Like even when we had Brexit, we knew that the question was put to the British people, and then they went through everything before that happened. So why is it that when we want to do our things, we do it differently? And Elvis mentioned Scotland. The reason last week, as recently as last week, the National Scottish Party won re-election, and they are still pushing to go for that referendum again. They're just looking at the time to go for it again. They want to exit the United Kingdom, but they do it through that way. Why? I know that in Nigeria, I don't think government is going to allow that to happen, to conduct referendum. But even privately funded referendum, why do we like to do our own things differently? So you want to take Nigeria out, you want to take 20 million people out of Nigeria, but you've not even asked those 20 million people, you've not even put that question to them.
What you want?
Is that what you really want? Why, I just want us to look at that side of the debate as well.
Wale, there's one of our problems in Nigeria is that it's about those, it's whatever those who can speak the loudest, not just speak the loudest, it's about those people that we look up to as leaders. It's what they say that we follow. There is a saying, I don't know how to say it now, but that if you and an elder have an issue, you will still, and you haven't done anything wrong, you still must apologize, even though it's the elder that did something wrong against you. Well, in our culture, you still be the one apologizing to that elder, even though you haven't done. It's like Eniola now. You've done something. You so many times. Like if I say, "Oh, Victor, why did you put this thing here?" And my son will say, "Mom, I didn't do it. Why are you accusing me?" No, I'm not accusing you. I'm just saying, why did you? Well, I didn't do it, Mom. And okay, if she don't answer, oh, Mom, I put it there. Victor will be like, "Mom, see, I didn't do it. So why did you call my name?" Until I say I'm sorry, he will let me be. See, but it's totally different in Nigeria. If I should do that with my parents, my father or my mom will say, "Okay, take care of Jari. What is wrong with you?" We do that. And we do it in politics. We do it with everything. So now they've come up with, we're tired of this. We want to move. And then they start putting it out without a proper planning. You listen to Igbo, for instance. You listen to him. He's like, we're going now. I'm like, okay, so what is the plan? Going. You want to go, but what is the plan? Do you have your own police? Do you have this? Do you have that? Where are you going? What is the plan? You can say you are going. Okay, you and your wife, or you and your partner, you had a fight, and you say you are going. Where are you going? Do you have a house to go to? Do you have your own account that you be tapping into to pay for rent, to pay for food? Do you have, support system in place? What is it? Where are you going? Do you have any plan? Or you are just using mouth? You know what I mean? So
yep.
We're talking about I haven't seen anything. I haven't read it anywhere. I haven't watched it in any of the YouTube's thing. So I don't think there's anything like that. Our people, emotions rules. We want to do this, but there's no point yelling it and screaming it out. There are better ways of doing things like this. It's a systematic thing, and you need to move accordingly, or else they're going to cause a problem, more problem. Igbos, they've done certain things, they've done it right. They've been in it longer than we are anyway, but we need to go and consult the Igbos? What are you guys? What have you done? And are you getting your? It's much more than having conversation or dialogue with them now, or we have people that will be doing negotiation and dialogue, and we have other people that will be doing the other things to make sure we are well prepared, because there's nothing. So it starts with appropriate planning, and whomever we have as our leader, we need to rethink, because it has to be done in a proper way. That is where I come in.
Thank you very much, Vicky. And I would like Elvis also to share his views, if he has views on that, and it's specifically around. I understand the role of propaganda. Any student of politics or revolutionary kind of politics or whatever, you understand the role people like Igbos and the rest, the role they are playing. You know that where they, top up things, set your place, it's a game, and I get all that. But the key question that is that, so the same entitlement that we actually blaming or accusing the owners of Nigeria, that same sense of entitlement, that's what we're seeing here from these groups, because they want to take millions of people away from Nigeria, and they don't even have the decency to really ask for the opinions that you are carrying. And I don't think whether that has happened in the East as well. We still have good people in southeastern part of Nigeria that may not agree with Nigeria as it is, but from past experience, they don't think Biafra is the option based on what happened in the past. I'm not so sure whether that question has been put to them as well, but we hear the loudest noise. So what do you think about that, Elvis?
Wale, I'll just continue from where Vicky stopped. I know she ended by saying it has to be done in a proper way. Now, the proper way will be, if you ask me, we all have reps. You have your federal house of rep member, you have your Senate members all over the country, both in the southeast, in the southwest, middle belt, everywhere. An ideal scenario will be, just like it happened in Scotland, to take this to the floor of the house. Pass it as a bill or whatever is the procedure that they go through there, to say, okay, we've heard so much clamoring about, people wanting to leave or to secede. This noise is so loud. Well, trust me, and it is loud. It is loud. It's not in the place of the likes of the bohos of this world, or the Nnamdi Kanus or the Asari Dokubos, to say, oh, look, we need to organize a referendum to ask if people really want to stay or not. That responsibility falls on the shoulders of our elected representatives. They are in the position to take this to where that discussion needs to be had, and get the necessary approvals. And look, it's a valid conversation to have. I keep referring to this conversation every single time I talk, and I know what I mean when I say it. Every single time I say it, it's a conversation that people actually need to have. Even if you take away the fact that, okay, people want to leave, even if we're going to stay and live in this house together, how are we going to live? What rules will bind us together? How we're living in this house? Who's going to do the cleaning today? Who will do the cooking? How do we mow the grass? How do we, pay the bills? These are, conversations that we actually need to have. But sweeping it under the carpet, honestly, doesn't help anyone. Doesn't help anyone. We need to look ourselves eyeball to eyeball and have these conversations with the view of, ensuring that things work out better for us going forward. But to pretend and have the body language as though, look, nothing is going on. or you don't have a say. You either take what you're being fed, or if you talk, I'll come and bash you. That is the situation right now.
Yeah.
Someone telling you, oh, if you want to leave, you're calling for war. I mean, for crying out loud, my children are, my first one was turning 20, turned 20 already. I've got 2 other teenagers. Well, I negotiate with them. I don't lump it, on them as I would, even when they were really little. Even a little child has a mind of his own. You can tell that little one, go sit down there. He goes, no, mommy, no, daddy, I don't want to sit there. I want to stand. You're now talking about adults, full-fledged men and women who are not happy with the speed of activities or the way things are going on in the country, and have actually given you the opportunity to address these issues.
Exactly.
Yeah, giving you the opportunity to make it right. Rather than make it right, you have people going into their neighborhoods, taking positions and killing them and taking over their lands and their farms, and you think people will keeping quiet? It's not gonna happen, Wale. So it is not in the place of those who are actually agitating for this secessionist movements to do this. A right-thinking government, a right-thinking representative will sit down and say, look, oh, this noise is so loud in my ears. It's so loud.
They're not going to do it because they are benefiting from that.
Exactly.
The structure that's why it falls on the people. That's why I think it falls on the people, because where you think it's going to come from, they're not going to do it because they are still, benefiting from the status quo as it is. They keep politicians in Southwest, in Southeast, in whatever part of Nigeria that are benefiting from the status quo. They are not going to do it. But I think in a way to validate their argument, and so I would think that it's going to be very expensive. But I think there is a way they can do something to be able to back up their claims and argument. And so that when they speak, they're not just speaking like market men. They are really talking like people that have done their own research. They can say, okay, we've done our own research. 75% of people in so part of in Lagos, they want us to have Oduduwa nation. We've been to Abeokuta. 60% of people there want it. We've been to Akure, and then our people in the east as well. We've been to Inewi. This is what they said. We've been to Aba. This is the number we have. At least when you talk with numbers anywhere, people know you are not just making things up. And I think it's good for their own campaign as well, because sometimes you take them for rabble rousers, which sometimes they sound like just rabble rousers, because in terms of facts and figures, where in some logical conversation, they don't have it. And I think for the argument to move away from that market kind of noise making, they need to start doing this. I'm not expecting a senator from East or from West to organize any referendum asking people, do you want to do a republic? It's not going to happen. They have to use that as a tool to buttress their own campaign. That is what I think.
All right, Wale, hold on. Can I react to that?
Please do.
Yeah, I know that, you see, that will be an ideal scenario in this part of the world where you and I sit at the moment. Now, we're talking about a country where, if anything, data is non-existent. We're not talking about the US where, even before the elections in the US, for example, you had opinion polls is 70% in favor of this, and those data are actually, if not 100% correct, are close to being correct. So on what platform are they going to, have this sort of referendum you're discussing? Who is going to hold it? Are you going to be walking the streets free until the outcome of that referendum is, the referendum is concluded? Whoever is organizing it, is the government going to let you keep walking free and doing this referendum and picking these numbers? Well, it's not a free society there, my brother. It's not free. Yeah, I know what you're saying makes a lot of sense, but you also need to take into account the circumstances and the prevailing conditions in the country that we're talking about. You think the government is just going to sit there and watch someone going around and you know, conducting a poll and asking these people, do you want to be part of Nigeria or you want to go? You think they will just fold their arms and watch that happen from beginning to end?
But they're already doing that now. They're already doing their campaigns. They're moving around. They're wearing their Oduduwa Republic, you know, T-shirt and flags. They're doing that already. So as they do that, I would think that they also need to be more strategic. You know, I know exactly I'm not sounding academic here, and I know where you're coming from. They also need to be able to say something that people really want to go. They can't just be making things up and saying, we just want to go, without even consulting the people they want to lead and really put that simple question to them. It might not be like a referendum. There must be a way that they should be able to back up that claim that people really want to go. Otherwise, it just look like just, you know, rabble-rousers just making noise. You know, if they can still do it, I don't think they have the money or the resources to do, like, go over the Southwest and conduct and every house have it, you know, get votes from every house member. I don't really, but they should be able to have something.
Well, you don't need to actually do the physical one. Almost everyone do have a phone. Almost everyone have data on their phone. You see them commenting on useless fights all over the place. You can do a poll on your phone. You can create a poll on Twitter, on Facebook, and people can comment. People can mark A and B, or A or B, and then you can collate that. They do that here now. That all that, you know, by the time you have a couple of people to sit down and put all that together, you work it out in percentage. 60% said they want to leave based on the poll that we created and people responded to. 10,000 people said this, 2,000 people said no, and then we have 60% that said yes. Simple. You don't need to be going home from one home to another. You do that on here. Easy. But when you can have that, it's something that backs you up. I mean, several times Wale used to bring on statistics about anything that we used to talk about. You haven't been doing that lately. I think
because we've been talking too much now. There's no more time for statistics. That's the reason. Yeah. I was just trying to reduce the time. Yeah.
You know, anyway, all that just gives it a bit of more weight. Igbos have been doing it. I mean, they've been into it for a long time.
Yeah, and Vicky, what do you think? What do you think will happen with that? I'm talking. Look, let me tell you why that's not even going to go anywhere. Why it's not going to go anywhere? I'll tell you why. Twice in a row during Jonathan's regime, I know, and I think I mentioned this here before. Billions of naira they spent to conduct the Constitutional Conference, where different reps from different parts of Nigeria sat down and they had this same uncomfortable conversation I keep hammering on that we need to have. They had these conversations and they came out with a position. You know, everyone said their bits, you know, and what happened? Implementation became the issue. It was swept under the carpet. And then came President Olusegun Obasanjo. Now, they organized another one where, again, billions of naira they spent to go through this process. And what happened there was that one, the first one was National Conference. Then this other one by OBJ was a Sovereign National Conference. They had these conversations and people, you know, reps spoke their minds and said, you know, how they wanted to live in this country, how we can keep it together and everyone will be happy. Again, second time in a row, implementation was an issue. So if you have something that the government had actually sponsored, saw it as a need, as something, a discussion that needed to be had. And those discussions were had twice in a row. Big dollars, big naira, no, not dollar this time, spent to undertake that project at the time, and no one implemented it. He swept under the carpet. And you think, Colin, my brother, there's even the voice vote. The voices on the streets speak louder than anything. People are tired, Wally. People are tired. You don't need a soothsayer or naysayer to tell you that, you know, people are not happy with what's going on in the country. I was watching a video of Farambaka the other day. Farambaka is not advocate of Biafra or Nnamdi Kanu or anyone. My brother, when he stepped onto the podium, I think it was 2 weeks ago or so, and just made a pronouncement, God bless Nnamdi Kanu. Did you see the uproar? Did you see the cheers in that crowd? My brother,
is that why he's got in trouble with the federal government?
Oh yeah, they now arrested. They took him somewhere, and then what happened? The people went agog. They went into the streets and said, "Oh, you must release this man, or you know, we'll spoil things." And you know, after some time, they released him. That's to tell you the mindset, Wally. Yeah, even if you don't have that referendum or whatever, the ordinary man on the street, if you go, it resonates very strongly. You know, like you don't even need to hear people say it. People are tired across board.
Yeah, look, I get where you're coming from, and when I put some questions there so that we all be on the same page, I can imagine I play devil's advocate. Otherwise, we all would be on the same page every time on some of the topics that we discuss there. So there are questions that I ask. I am not asking from point of being naive about the situation in Nigeria or being naive about the state of things on the street of Nigeria. But there are questions I deliberately ask that are more playing devil's advocate, because those views as well need to be heard. Some of the views around the fact that you want Nigeria you want to move us from Nigeria, you're not even asking us. It's a valid topic. It's a valid question people have asked. And it's a valid thing for us to discuss. Not necessarily because I share the belief that it has to be done for the campaign. I think I need to make that clarification.
That's fine, Wale. Well, you've had my valid response to that.
Thank you very much. Yeah. So can we, moving forward now, can we really, looking at the time is far really spent, can we really have our final words? You know, I'll start with Elvis. Okay, let me make my final word is just around the fact that I'm happy that the Southern governors, they came together, you know, they met and they came up with some, you know, solid plans. I think it's a good move that they're coming together and they're putting their demands, you know, to the federal government. I think they should have done that long time ago. But it is a welcoming development. That's my final word. And go to Elvis and, you know, go back to Vicky to wrap it up for tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I would just like to, I'd like to make a few comments regarding those threats about people who want to, if you want to leave, then you're calling for war. Number one, I know I'm an Igbo man, and I know, you know, people just want to see things done correctly. Seceding or calling for the breakup of the country, which I'm not in support of anyway, to be honest, trust me, only tells you that people are really tired and, you know, and they're not seeing any change. If anything, Wally, and I say this with every, you know, without any bias or disrespect to anyone, the Igbo man actually believes a lot in the Nigerian project. Those who are telling you, if you're calling for secession, you know, you're calling for war, are the ones technically that don't even believe in that project called Nigeria, because they wouldn't go to Lagos or go to Imo State and buy a block of land to say they want to develop. The Igbo man is the one who will go anywhere, make it his own, build his business there, because he believes in the unity of that country. He believes that Nigeria is one. He doesn't just believe it, he also shows it in his action by spending his dollars there, investing, you know, wherever he finds himself, any part of the country. And so that's Some people are calling for a breakup, calling for Biafra, and all of it. It's just that people are tired, and that the government is not taking action. The government is not acting as a responsible government who had sworn to an oath to protect lives and properties. People are in a situation where they're thinking the government is actually egging these guys on, by not taking a stand and nipping this in the bud. I believe they have the capability to do it if they have the sincerity of purpose. I believe it can be done. I believe it's not beyond the government, and I still believe it's not too late for things to be fixed in that space. I believe that conversation needs to be had. That uncomfortable conversation. I would never get tired of saying it, because for me, nothing surpasses dialogue. Even countries who fought wars, how did they end the wars? They sit down on the table and then talk their issues over. But in our situation, I don't think we want to go there. We can still have that conversation. What are those things that are making the people unhappy? How do we fix those things? And I believe once we've had those conversations and we're honest about it and we implement it, things can still work out. It's not too late for Nigeria. It's not too late for things to turn around. That's my belief.
Thank you, Elvis. Over to you, Vicky.
Thank you, Wale, Elvis, and Edmond. It's just been one of the great. It's a lovely top. Is that a word to use? Will I call it educative and informative actually, topic and discussion that we've had today, and I'm praying and hoping that we don't end up with war, because none of us, like Egmont said, and we all know this, we can only know how it's going to start, but how it's going to end, we don't know. And I'm so scared that we are not prepared for anything in the South. So let's be positive that the government will listen to our cry and see that we are in pain. We're tired of the insecurity. We're tired of the hard life. We're tired with the way things are going down in that place, that things need to change. Even the Bible says that the heart of the king, they are in God's hands. So we've prayed enough and we will keep praying. But yes, we still need to do something. Doing something includes, we keep doing the negotiation. We keep praying that God will soften their hearts and they will come to the table and have the discussion and start making some changes. There's nothing impossible for God to do, but we are all tired of this thing called Nigeria, that things need to change. Now, this one is a bit better than the one we had last time. Last time I was a little bit depressed by the end of the show. So this one is just a little bit better, and hopefully we will come together again next Saturday and do it better again. And I think we're gonna have a guest panelist next week. I'm excited. I'm looking forward. It's been a while since we had a guest on the show. So tell us a little bit more about the guest, Wale.
Yeah, it's Professor Sylvester Odion Akaine. It's a professor of political science at Lagos State University. He was at the time the head of department of political science. He's been around for a long time through the pro-democratic struggle. He knows who is who within that struggle. Beyond academics, he's still actively involved in politics. And I think we'll be discussing this big topic, restructuring. And I think it's a topic that many people will have opinions and ideas, but I think we need a professor of political science to be able to educate all of us and answer all our important questions. I'm personally looking forward to it as well.
Fantastic. It's fantastic. Yeah. So we are going to be 5 panelists next Saturday. A professor of political science will be joining us to give us a little bit more in-depth into restructuring of Nigeria, if that's the way to go. So it's a show for you to join us next week. And to all our viewers, we have some that commented tonight. Latif Adeleye commented, Robert Brooker, Charles Oguntade, and others. We thank you for joining us and being part of our show. Looking forward to having you back with us next Saturday. Wale, thank you for doing a great job. Thank you for moderating and putting all this together. And thank you, Mr. Elvis Nwachukwu, for contributing and adding your voice to what we do. You all have a lovely Sunday and a great week. Let's come together and do this better next Saturday.
Well done.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Good night.
Goodbye.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Yeah. Yes, bro.
God bless.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.